When you think of grunge music, it's hard not to conjure up images of Kurt and Courtney, Chris Cornell humming the chorus of Black Hole Sun, and Pearl Jam's Gothic video for Jeremy. However, it was Andrew Wood who helped pave the way for these artists, with his bravely flamboyant onstage persona and theatrical rock anthems giving his peers the faith that grunge could become bigger than Seattle. Wood's story is marked with tragedy, with his band Mother Love Bone's hopes for major label success derailed by their lead singer's shock death at 24. The remaining members would go on to form a band called Pearl Jam, arguably the biggest rock band of the 1990s, while Wood's name would become synonymous with the phrase, "What if?" The crippling grasp opioids had on Seattle reached out to Wood, and it proved to be too much. Andrew was a moment in time, for a brief period of time. On this episode, we'll look at what happens when drugs take control over your career and life, and how they can burn out such a bright star.
That's my job, kind of in the band. Sad. Lonely, sad balance.
Make the girls weep.
And I like to make the girls weep, and guys for that matter too.
Scott Weiland, one of rock's most distinctive voices, has died.
Shatterhand was found dead in the band's tour bus in New Orleans on Saturday afternoon.
Mark Lanigan has died at the age of 57.
Andrew Wood was pronounced dead from complications resulting from a drug overdose.
Lane Staley was found dead in his Seattle home on Friday.
On March 16, 1990, flamboyant frontman for Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood, was found in a comatose state by his girlfriend, having overdosed on heroin. Wood was taken to Harborview Hospital and placed on life support. Physicians suggested that Wood be removed from life support, and he was pronounced dead at 3:15 p.m. on March 19, 1990. 33 years later, there's still questions without answers as to what happened to Seattle's brightest up-and-coming star. It's early spring 1990, and Seattle's Paramount Theater is packed to the rafters, a fact that would have put a huge smile on the face of the man whose name is the marquee outside. But that man, Andrew the Love Child, also known as Andrew Wood, is dead. This is his memorial, and the rock scene percolating in America's Pacific Northwest will never be the same again. The funeral was very surreal, remembered Wood's best friend and flatmate Chris Cornell of Soundgarden. I was happy for him because it was packed, and they were showing films of him performing. He was a fucking rock star the day he was born. It didn't matter if he'd ever sold a single record. He was the only rock star I ever met. Andrew Wood was born in 1966, the youngest of a troubled family whose internal ructions he tried to soothe from childhood, with his larger-than-life personality and love for entertaining. As a kid, Wood was equally bestowed with Elton John and Kiss. Later, he'd adopt an onstage persona that was all glittery top hats, white face makeup, and silk and satin costumes. He was 14 when he formed his first band, Malfunction, with his older brother Kevin. The pair stayed home Easter Sunday 1980, when the rest of the family went to his grandmother's, and by the time his folks returned, they had cooked up their first demo tape. By the mid-1980s, Malfunction were fusing punk and metal, unafraid to drop ludicrous guitar solos among punk riffage. Wood, meanwhile, gave all his wild frontman ambitious flight, equal parts Mark Bolan, Freddie Mercury, Prince, and Gene Simmons. He remanded himself Andrew the Love Child, inspired by an episode of the original 60s Star Trek TV series. Brother Kevin would become Kevin Stein, while drummer Regan Hagar became Thunder. When Andrew Wood performed at a club in Seattle in the 1980s, it was something you didn't forget in a hurry. With his face clad in clown makeup and lipstick, Wood wearing one of his mother's pink dresses, would whip his thick blonde locks back and forth as he sung pitch-perfect glam rock melodies. Taking on the persona of Andrew the Love Child, Wood, along with his band Malfunction, lit up the Seattle scene with distorted guitars and theatrical rock anthems, making small basement clubs feel like stadiums. For locals, it wasn't a question of if, but only when, Wood would achieve national stardom. They were one of the wildest bands I ever saw, and had something really mysterious going on. I'd say it was almost voodoo, recalls Seattle-based producer Chris Hanzek, who gave Malfunction their big break on the Deep Six album.